Welcome to the Shane Toddcast.
Oh! Welcome to the Shane Toddcast. My first guest, because last week I did sort of like a swap podcast with Colin Geddes.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've had a guest. Ryan McMullan is my first guest.
Cheers. Thanks,
Ryan, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, it's the first podcast I think I've done in Northern Ireland. I think I've only ever done one other podcast. It was with Joe Rooney.
For a second I thought you were going to say Joe Rogan. I was like, this is not going to compare to Joe Rogan's podcast.
No,
Joe Rooney, who was in Father Ted?
Yeah.
You did his podcast?
Yeah, we were doing a gig, a weird sort of gig where I was doing this sort of house gig thing. It was actually amazing, but
Right.
he was on before me.
Oh, okay.
Doing stand up.
Yeah, he does songs as well.
Yeah,
doesn't
and he does the songs
Yeah, he's
thing.
good.
But like, you know, he's hilarious and all that, and then I'm coming on singing old soppy songs.
Right,
and it's just
right.
like, I'm gonna have to try and be funny here.
Yeah.
I wasn't, but yeah, that was the only other one I've done.
Do you like doing like the media type stuff that comes with being a performer? Yeah. Do you have to do it quite a lot, like interviews and?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't mind them. I think you just have to get used to the same questions.
Yeah.
You never think about it, but they're asking you the same questions as the next person and the last person.
Yeah.
Because that's what people want to know.
What's the stock question?
What's Ed Sheeran like?
What's Ed Sheeran like? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like,
What is he like?
he's a superstar.
Yeah.
He's just such a lovely human being. But,
Yeah.
but then, you know, I got this amazing advice from a friend, which was just answer the question that you wanted to hear. So sometimes people go, what's Ed Sheeran like? And I'm like, do you know the thing about Ed Sheeran? I was on tour with him and I released my song and and it was great, but I'm so glad to release my song.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I get you.
so always answer what you want.
You said it's your first podcast in Northern Ireland. Do you travel a lot? How many months of the year would you be here?
Oh, not a lot. I mean, I still call home here. I still get, you know, my mail and all sent here and stuff, but
I thought you were about to say your dole. I was like,
I'm a
fair
dole
play
man,
if you're
yeah.
still just every other week signing on that dotted line.
well, no, I still call here home. I still live here, but I mean, I think last year I was here maybe 40 days.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's a lot of traveling.
You're from, to sort of take it back, you're from Portaferry.
Yeah.
I did my first tour show last year in Portaferry.
In the
Portico. Unreal.
Was it good?
Yeah, you performed there?
No, it's only opened. Was it last year or the year before?
Right.
I'd like to at some point.
It used to be a church, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
it's just, it stayed exactly the same,
Yeah.
but host music and stand up now.
Yeah.
Which is weird in a way because you're sort of going up doing dick jokes and you're like, there was a man here, you know, talking about God and reading from the
yeah.
Bible, and I'm up here saying all these cheeky things.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Like, I'm weird about doing gigs close to home.
Yeah.
So would you be weird about doing a gig in the likes of Portaferry?
No, I have this grand idea to do one in the big pitch at some point.
What is that, like just like literally a sports field? You mean like an outdoor type?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'd love to do one up on the pitch, but you'd need to have tons of people coming.
Yeah.
And it's whether Portaferry could handle that in terms of like accommodation. And
Oh,
all that.
okay, yeah.
So you never
Sinking
know.
the ferry.
Yeah.
My big fear about doing like a home gig, like a gig around Hollywood, is like, I'll be classed, I'm so proud of where I'm from, love my hometown.
Yeah.
But it's the idea that like you would get the most specific heckles.
Yeah.
You know, like your Uncle Jim owed me 20 quid before he died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you do with that to a crowd?
I know. I have this thing in Portaferry which I always laugh at because I love Portaferry and it's the same sort of thing. I'm so proud of coming from there. But there was one time I went into the bar and a guy I went to school with, like grew up with, was like, "Here, Ryan, you want to give us a wee autograph?" And I was just like, "We literally went to school together.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you bullied me. Like, what the hell?"
Was it me?
Yes, it was.
I was going to ask, was it my producer Maestro Shane Walsh? Because did you guys go to school together?
Yeah, Ryan's a wee bit older than me.
Yeah, I was a year above Shane. And
So you bullied Shane?
well, no, because he was always bigger than me anyway.
Were you big? Was he a big kid?
No, I was just a wee one.
Oh, okay.
To put it kindly.
I just love the idea of you being like a 6 foot. I know you're not 6 foot now, but the idea that you were like a very tall child.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
No, always been short.
Every every week on the podcast I give Shane I don't know how they started, like a different nickname, like a sex pun, so like a rock star with a sex pun. So it started off as Mick Jagger. We've had David Bowie. Do you remember who the last one was? Jimi Hendrix, and that spoils this week's because I've gone Dick again. I've gone for Dick Hucknall.
Yeah.
So there you go. Not great. So you two.
About Ryan McMullan or something?
What?
Ryan McLovin.
I don't know. I was thinking that something to do with him. No.
Nah.
No.
I'll come up with them.
Yeah.
But so you guys went to school. But how come if you were living in Portaferry, you were living on the other side of the loch?
Yeah. I had to get a ferry to school.
Oh yeah.
Had to get the boat in the mornings to get a bus to go to school.
That's very Northern Irish. Were you hitting up the aquarium flat out in Portaferry, or was that one of those things where like the locals were like, "This isn't even the best thing to do here"?
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean it's gotten good now, but back then it needed the work that it didn't get. It was always the place that if you were ever brave enough to take a date, let's go to the aquarium. You know.
I went on a date to the aquarium, and genuinely the girl I was with like touched the stingray, which I mean stingray, and not like a pun for something, but she touched the stingray. It is very flat, but she touched it with such like aggression and confidence that it kind of put me off. Yeah. So we never had a second date. Yeah. So I don't think the aquarium's the best spot for that. I did have the best scampi and chips I've ever had.
In Portaferry?
In Portaferry, along the front, not the hotel side, but the other side. It's just like a wee cafe, but it was unreal.
Would it be beside the...
I want to say it was a black sign.
Wouldn't be the Sailing Club. It must be...
It's 10 out of 10.
Right.
So take me back to... I first started hearing about you years ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And I think it's because it always stands out to me like someone my age doing cool things. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you were in the papers for... doing gigs and things were growing, and you'd hear songs on some of the local stations and stuff. Yeah. So when did you get into music and stuff like that? Like, were you always into it growing up?
I was always into it. I think what people find weird is I never not wanted to, but I never chose to do what I'm doing. I always pushed it aside. I remember being 16 and going, yeah, let's do this, and we were in a band and we were... What was
the band called?
It was called Purple Road.
Purple Road.
A wee fact for you is Purple Road actually supported my band one time.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Look where we are.
Look where we are. Well, that was.
Do you remember that gig?
Yeah, it was in.
Auntie Annie's.
Oh, Auntie Annie's.
Upstairs, yeah.
Who's? What was that bar just outside of Downpatrick? Do you remember that one?
Oh fuck.
Did we not support you there too?
Probably. The Cabin.
Was it the Cabin? It was a white building. The Slaney.
Oh, maybe.
I think we supported you there.
Shane, what other bands did you have warming up for? Are you going to be like Kings of Leon, Oasis open for us?
Fun fact.
What was your band called at the time?
I can't say because it's still online. So.
No, just say it.
Bourbon Sky.
Burnt Sky. Bourbon Sky.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Bourbon Sky.
I did pay Soak 40 quid to go from Derry to Ballynahinch to play a gig. And she's now massive.
Are you breaking so many people? Do you owe quite a lot of the success to?
I think so, but the sounds of it I do.
He seems to imply that
he saw the potential.
Yeah.
What was your band like?
Shite, absolutely shite.
They were. No, they were just as good as us.
What was the first? Tell me about the band in a second. But were you writing music for the band?
Yeah, but like we were all writing songs together, and it was.
What was the first song you wrote?
It's a song called "Tease Me."
like on another level type vibe, or it sounds like it might have been quite sexy.
It was horrendous. It was like
tease me.
Oh yeah, come on and tease me. You better believe me. It was absolutely amazing for a 14-year-old.
Do you remember it? Like, you remember chords to it and stuff?
Yeah, I could play it. If I had a guitar, I could play the...
No, see at the end of the podcast?
I don't know the words though.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that would be so great to get Tease Me live. And
oh, man.
So you were writing, so Tease Me. Whenever you were like writing songs back then, like...
We had a song called Backstreet Hooker. I swear to God, 14-year-old boys like
Tease Me and Backstreet Hooker sound like some like 50-year-old black man in Vegas should be singing them.
It was as if we were just inspired by 80s glam and thought this is what you should write about.
I genuinely used to write rap whenever I was like 14, 15, and I wasn't even writing it like this is just like a bit of a laugh. I was writing it thinking, with the right producer, this is a hit all over the world. I was like, but I was sort of like, you know, like Anchorman when he's like, I'm really not prepared, he brings it out. I was really nonchalant, wouldn't tell anyone about it, but I thought if someone came and asked me, do I have any bangers, I'd be able to say yeah. I had a song called I bear in mind I thought this was going to change the game, because I really liked Rockefeller Records back then. Kanye West had just signed to them, Jay-Z was part of it, and I was like, genuinely I could see myself fitting in here. And my song was called Rap and Roll, and I wanted it to be like sort of like rock music, like a fusion. And the chorus was rap and roll. Got all my soldiers on foot patrol, which when you say it in Northern Ireland sounds well paramilitary. It was the anthem the UVF never had, but I was like, rap and roll, got all my soldiers on foot patrol, nod your head all night and then through the day. And it didn't, like, I think I genuinely stopped at the chorus, and I was like, that'll do. I was like, that's good enough. If people won't sign me to a major record label based on that, they're fools. I don't need a verse on this.
They don't need the rest of the song.
Rap and roll.
It's interesting that you named it after the famous sandwich shop in Downpatrick.
Oh,
Hanlon's.
Rap and roll.
It's called Rap and Roll. It's called Rap and Roll. Hanlon's.
I didn't say the best sandwich shop.
Oh, sorry, right.
True fact about Rap and Roll. About the sandwich shop in Downpatrick, I was in getting petrol before a football match very recently, and a guy ran out and went, "Is that your Passat?" And I genuinely thought he was going to start giving me abuse and be like, "I thought you were doing well at the comedy, you're driving a Passat." And I was about to be like, "Yeah, well actually, you know what, it's quite a decent car and does good miles per gallon." And I was getting ready to say that, and he's like, "It just rolled down the forecourt there."
Oh shit.
But he caught it. He caught it. I looked out and I was like, do I still complete the transaction here, pay for it and stuff? And I did, and he held it for me, so shout out to that guy.
What do you mean he held it?
He sort of like, it rolled very slowly.
Oh, right.
The guy working there got out in front of it and sort of held it up.
Right, okay.
And I just want to give him a monster shout out if he's listening. You had songs called Tease Me, you had Backstreet Hooker, I've got Rap and Roll, I'm just saying, do we get Bourbon Sky back together?
Yeah. One
Night Only, Auntie Annie's.
I'd love to.
What are all the guys still around?
Yeah, all the guys are still around. Yeah, and there was actually a chat over
was
Christmas.
Lawrence in the?
Lawrence.
He's my neighbour.
Yeah. Your brother-in-law.
Yeah, he's not my brother-in-law.
He's not.
His wife is my wife's sister. He's nothing to me. He's literally nothing to me. All we do is share a lawnmower, and that's it.
Christmas dinner.
Do you ever revisit a really old song? Like I would do that with stand-up the other time. I would go, I had this bit, and I wouldn't do it like I would have then.
Yeah.
But I go, the idea of that was quite good. You ever revisit a really old song?
All the time. Sometimes you come up with really good ideas and you just don't justify it. Mm-hmm. You don't give it what it deserved, and then you go back to it and you go, okay, wrong song but right idea, and then you try it again. Even a song, the first song I released as a Ryan song, didn't release it, I put a video on YouTube, but a song called Mary, and I haven't played it in about 4 years, and I picked up the guitar yesterday and played it, and it was like
just at a gig, or just messing about
in the house, and I just played it and I was like, that's actually not that bad of a song if you just change a wee bit of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll never make a record or anything like that.
But you were in like a band. Was that, did you want to be in a band, or you want to be out by yourself, or did you see a band as a way of like doing the whole thing with friends?
The whole band thing came around was I was big into sports, so I was playing any sport. I used to stay behind in school and do squash, badminton, Gaelic, soccer, hurling, cross country, anything that was coming up.
What time did you get home at?
I don't know. But every day of the week, 5 days of the week, I would stay till 5.
Yeah.
And do one of the activities or whatever.
Right.
So I was mad into sports, but we all loved music. But it only took us, must have been about 3 years of being friends, where it was like, wait, you play drums, I play guitar, and you play guitar. And then we said to our friend Johnny, I know you play guitar, but would you play bass? We started doing it, and it was great. It was great for what it was.
Is this weird to say? Is it like where you guys went to school and where you grew up? It feels like it's like a musical part of the world. Everyone I know that you sort of know as well through where you're from was in a band. Currently plays in a band or is musical. I don't know about the school, but was
Ashwin are from our town,
Yeah.
and Brian I. Girl apparently is written about a woman from our town.
And Fields of Gold is written about a girl from Portaferry.
There
Oh
you go.
yeah? Is she still knocking about?
No, oh maybe she is.
Could be.
Yeah, Sting wrote it about a girl, so Fields of Gold was about. I think it's Fields of Gold. Pretty sure. I'm not sure.
That's pretty cool. Imagine that
Yeah.
that being written about you.
I know. Although,
Let's track her down.
yeah.
Let's track her down.
It's,
I wonder if
She's
she's
probably
Tumblety.
not
Her name's
the field of
Tumblety.
gold she was. She's
Oh.
maybe like
a
I think
slag.
her name's Tumblety. Maybe Maura Tumblety.
Right?
you're gonna call more Tomty out.
Yeah.
Claim that.
Yeah. That could be completely wrong.
Imagine like a 78-year-old woman in your local centre. Sting wrote a song about me. Dead on
She,
love.
no, she doesn't live in Portaferry anymore. I think he
Alright.
met her in London or something like that.
Right.
But she took him to Portaferry or something.
Right. That's a better name for a song. Take Me to Portaferry.
Took him to Portaferry.
So, what age were you when things started to sort of like change a bit? Were you still in school when like things were taking off? Or
No.
what was the path for that happening? Like when did it go from playing in bands, supporting the likes of this guy, to doing good stuff?
What do you mean?
So yeah, as I said, I didn't really want to do like. It's not that I didn't want to do music. I just never saw it as a career path.
Right.
It was always great to do, but I started doing a bit of joinery and I started working in the civil service, and then I took a career break and went to Australia. And then I came back from Australia and was like, do you know what? I'm going to go and do my A-levels because I want to go back there with a good job. And then I started uni. And as I was at uni, I was working in a wee centre on the road. And then I was out one night and Owen was playing. And as Owen was playing, a friend of mine said, Owen, you should get Ryan up to sing. And I got up and did a song. And then the next day, Owen texted me and was like, can you cover 4 of my gigs? And then I realised this could put me through uni.
Were you playing when you were in Australia and stuff? You doing anything?
No,
Nothing?
I didn't want, because it was so easy to be the guy who plays songs.
Right.
And I'm not very good at being social unless people come to me, so it was a kind of get rid of that and try and be a social person and grow up a bit.
Yeah.
I only brought it out once in Australia, and it was a talent competition to win.
A guitar just to establish?
Oh, yes.
That's alright, because I was like, if you just
Well, no, it was
straight
talent
up,
competition.
I thought you were just like, I got it out for a talent competition. I was like, it's got to be strong.
But you got to win Whit Sundays, and I was like, I want that, so I did it and I won it.
Very
But
good.
I didn't get to do it because I ran out of money and didn't make it up far enough.
Oh, okay.
But then, so he started giving me gigs, and then that was kind of great. And then it was my final year, and I just thought I need to write some songs. I just took a notion,
Were you doing covers then? Presumably,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
ollies and all that, and then I made this wee EP, and all of a sudden, loads of people were talking to me about it.
What age were you when this was happening?
4 years ago, so 25.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that EP kind of made me go, maybe I should just give this a go. And I'd just finished my degree, so I had it to fall back on.
Yeah.
And I just thought, right, I'll just give it a go and see where it goes.
When you were working in civil service, when I was working in a call centre,
Yeah.
I saw it as like, I'm going to be here for 3 months max, and then I'm just getting back out there, stand up full time, stayed there for like 2.5 years.
Wow.
And creatively it was brilliant at the start, because I was like, I'm going to be on the phone, but at the same time I'm going to be writing material.
Yeah.
I'm going to be working on that. Call centre will be good for stand up.
Yeah.
Didn't happen like that at all. Stayed there for too long, didn't get creative. Were you there long enough to like...
I was there 2 years, but again, I had no intention of being a musician. I thought, right, if there's a promotion going, I'm going to go in for it. And then I got like 2.5 years into it and thought, this is going nowhere. A monkey could do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I need to get out of here. And then Australia was just like, okay, let's do it, the extreme, let's go for it. And that was pretty much how it was. But yeah, I mean, I think at the time I was still trying to play with the band, but nobody cared. You know, once you lose that desire to be in a band,
Yeah.
it's just running through the motions until you're not a band.
What was the first time that you went out there and like played your own stuff?
That officially, I would say that gig with that EP.
Oh, okay.
It was with, there's a festival here called the Belfast Nashville Festival.
Yeah.
And they gave me this great spot to release my EP, and it was 100 seats and it sold out, and I was like, yep, great. And I don't get nervous, but I was walking in and the compere was doing his thing, and I was like, I'm okay, and then I turned around and Foy Vance was walking in, and I'm a huge fan.
Right.
And I'm just like, fuck, was that Foy Vance?
Yeah.
And then I just got this nerves, and I got onto the stage and I was freaking out.
Yeah.
But then he started heckling me.
Oh yeah.
He was like, play whatever the fuck you want. I was like, I'll play some of yours, and he was like, no. And then I got talking to him after, and then.
Did that really? Because you've gigged with him recently.
Yeah.
You guys have been doing stuff with your friends. Did that relationship start then?
That was the beginning of it. He was like, do you co-write with people? And I was like, I haven't yet, but I will. If you're talking about you. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to write with you. And he was like, if you're ever in Scotland, let me know. And I was like, no word of a lie, I'm going to Scotland in 4 days to do a gig, but then I have the weekend off.
Right.
And he was like, come to the house. Went up to the house.
It's insane. It's insane how that
was it.
how that happens. Like this part of the world, especially.
Yeah.
It's 6 degrees of separation thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2 here. It's so easy to like get in contact with someone or whatever,
Yeah.
and people are like really good at supporting others as well.
It baffles me. Because I do a lot of the touring and stuff. You just find you're so close to anybody. And the more I go around, the more I see how small the world is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember going to New York once and walking into a bar, didn't know anybody there, and there was 2 guys beside us, and they just was like, you guys don't smoke, do you have a skin? And Hammy, who's with me, was like, yeah, I've got a skin. We just start talking, and within 3 minutes we know 8 of the same people.
Right.
And I mean like this,
Yeah.
the 2 degree separation.
Yeah.
It's absolutely mental. The more I do it, the more I see it, and I'm just like, the world's so small.
Yeah. See, when you got the those sort of big tour support thing, what was it Ed Sheeran the first big tour support?
Yeah, it was my second ever tour. I did one with Foy for November, December, and then in March I was on the tour with Ed, and that was my first 2. I had a gig before the Ed to 60 people in New York, and the day after I was playing in Italy to 16,000.
What was it like when that sort of came about? Like, was it the case of like getting a phone call? I mean, like, this is happening, or was it like a longer process where you sort of got an idea of it?
Yeah. So I was doing the Foy tour, and there was a gig in London, and Ed came to it because he's a big Foy fan. And Foy was like, you should hear Ryan. And then I did my gig, and before Foy went on, Ed just came up to me and was like, do you want to go on tour? I was like, yeah, alright. So then you fast forward into January, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, we haven't got contracts, we haven't got any of that through.
Right.
Just that, moment of, do you want to come on tour?
Yeah.
So I was freaking out. And then Hammy, who manages me, was like, look man, just hold tight, it'll be fine. Like, I haven't heard anything either. Must have got to the 1st of February, and I was freaking out.
Yeah.
You have to prepare, you need to,
Yeah.
and
because that
word.
sounds so bad. Like, you can't just show up at the venue and be like, no, he definitely said. He said I was to do support.
Yeah, and then as we're waiting, my phone just goes, Prah, and I'm like, what is going on? He just announced it on Twitter.
Right.
Before I'd even got a contract.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, I guess we're going on it. What do we need? And what do we have to cancel now to do it? So yeah, it was definitely the biggest, but it was my second tour, I guess.
Out of all the huge acts you've supported, Ryan, which was your favourite of Foy Vance?
This guy.
Bourbon Sky.
This guy.
Like,
must have been Bourbon Sky.
Crowd wise, it's got to be Bourbon Sky. Like.
Yeah, I mean, if you like silence.
Bourbon Sky. I feel like there'll be like a Netflix documentary in 30 years' time.
I'm gonna have to go on and delete everything from
Bourbon Sky. I'm not sleeping tonight. I'm just checking out all the Bourbon Skies.
Before all your trolls come on and destroy us.
the time, like I was saying, like, I've been aware of you for years and heard stuff and seen stuff, and then Yeah, I watch YouTube when I'm working. I watch YouTube videos all the time,
Yeah.
and it's usually the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you know Aslan?
Yeah.
Band that I love Aslan.
Yeah.
Like I went on honeymoon a couple of weeks ago, and flew out of Dublin, and I just worked out at Aslan. We're playing Vicar Street the night before,
Right.
so we went to that, and it was just so good.
Yeah.
Such a brilliant. You played Vicar Street before?
No.
Oh,
I know.
it's huge. I think it's the same size as the Ulster Hall, but it feels like somebody's living room.
Oh really?
Yeah, and everywhere you are is a really good
Is it
view of the
tiered?
stage. No, it's just like Mandela, so it's like floor seat,
Okay.
floor standing, then a balcony that goes all the way around, and it's class. I did warm up for a friend there, and just before, but like you were saying about like you're fine, you're just about to go on,
Yeah.
and then someone tells you that somebody's in,
Yeah.
and he's like, Joffrey's here, and I was like, I thought it was one of his friends, and he pronounced Jeffrey wrong.
Yeah.
Nah, just full like Game of Thrones
Yeah.
Joffrey sitting like, so the way it's tiered, kind of like Mandela in a way. If you look straight ahead, your eye line is the balcony,
Yeah.
but it's more visible there. So I could just see like the wee guy who plays Joffrey, and he was like real relaxed, and the way he was sitting was like the way Joffrey would sit on the throne, and I just stared at him the whole gig. But we went to that Aslan gig, and they play a song that I love, Green Fields of France.
Yeah.
Obviously like a really old cover. Have you seen Christy Degnan from Aslan doing a cover of that?
No.
It was on the Late Late Show down south with Finbar Fury from the Furies,
Yeah.
and I just always watch it, have it on in the background. And about, I'd say a year ago, 6 months ago maybe, your song came, you doing the cover
Oh yeah.
of Streets in New York,
Streets of New York.
came on just on like autoplay,
Yeah.
and it's weird because I would go on and type in fields of Green Fields of France, and I'd like click into a different screen and do my work, and your song would always be playing, and I was like, God, that's incredible. And then it was only like after a while that I saw that it was you doing it, and that is such a great cover. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those ones where like, I went to listen to the original,
Yeah.
and I didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
And normally with that, you kind of go, that's a nice song, and then you go listen to the song,
Yeah.
and you start liking the song. But that was that in Derry? Was that in the Nerve Centre or something?
Yeah. It was in the Glassworks.
I don't know Derry that well.
It's like it's a beautiful venue. It looks again similar to the Ulster Hall, but just smaller, you know.
Right.
And
Had that been in your set for a while, or?
no, I had learned how to do it that way. I was writing one day, and I just started playing it, and as I was playing it, I was like, what's that melody in my head? And then I realised it was that, and I thought, well, I may as well do that and see how it feels. And I was buzzing about it. I was like, I think this is great. And then as soon as that video went up, it just shot. It was just kind of went viral, and now it's just every gig. Streets of New York, Streets of New York.
Oh yeah, you like to play it?
I love to play it, but I hate when people ruin it. So it happened to me recently in Derry. Gig was brilliant the whole day. I did 2 gigs in the same place.
Oh, okay. It was your own show?
Yeah.
Right.
The first gig, amazing. The second gig, going even better. And then I played it, and this guy just came out with a load of chants that I'm not into. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I just stopped the song and was like, do you know what, mate? Go to that guy, ask for your 20 quid back, and never come again, because you're ruining the purpose of it. But I do love playing it. I just hate when people.
That's a nightmare.
You know, people will make it sectarian, and you go, what? It's a song about immigration.
It's just literally a song with somebody missing home and coming home. But
So
but the thing is here, things just get brought back to that sectarian thing so quickly. It doesn't matter what it is.
Too bloody easy.
Like I'll put out a silly like comedy video, and on YouTube you need to go about 3 comments down. It's usually 3 or 4 comments down before you see someone be like, Belfast is actually in Ireland. You're like, why are you talking about this in this? How can a gig, so in stand-up, a gig can be ruined by heckling, by like somebody who maybe shouts something out, but that's okay, you gotta deal with it. But if that person consistently goes on, it can be really difficult. What can ruin a music gig?
I don't really other than that, somebody being, I don't care if people like shout up and stuff, but it's when somebody's like vulgar about it, not even about, I just mean like completely blocked and just ruining it for everybody else.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I being on the stage, so I just play for myself, and that kind of thing. But when there's someone like that, you just have to address it and go, look, either shut up or get out. It's one or the other. I don't care. Just don't be a dick. It's the famous old saying, like, don't be a dick.
How have audiences changed since you've become more successful, playing bigger gigs, coming back home and doing gigs? Have audiences changed for you, do you think?
I think so. I think this year's the first year where the local boy thing hasn't felt... whenever you're starting off and you get family and friends always coming.
Yeah.
I think when you, as you've done as well, the Ulster Hall, I think when you get to sell out there, it's not just friends and family anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than that. And I've been down to release music for ages, and I finally got to. It's not that I couldn't, it's just I was always waiting to see what was going to happen here, there and everywhere. And I thought, you know what, it just has to come out now. And then I put out Bowie on the radio, and everywhere I've played that, I came home and did a 17-date Irish tour, which was great. But once I played that song, everybody was asking for Streets of New York and stuff.
Yeah.
This was the first time where my songs seemed to matter.
Yes, yeah.
And it kind of felt like a turning point. I was like, I think Ireland's not just home anymore. I think it's a touring area. I don't know how to make sense of that, but
it's more respect from an audience as well, I guess. And
you're not just the local boy anymore. You're the artist.
Yeah, and people going, okay, he definitely knows what he's doing now.
Yeah.
Find that with stand up as well, like. Even heckling it can still happen now and again. It's happening less.
Yeah.
People are more sort of just relaxing and enjoying the show, knowing that you know what you're doing, because with stand up people will heckle if they think you look like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you're up there, you're unsure, someone will go, well, I know how to make this funny, I'm going to shout out something paramilitary related, but like you're saying with the songs.
Belfast is in Ireland.
Yeah. Discuss.
I'm gonna leave you with that.
What's it like around Portaferry? What's it like going home?
Great. I think everybody's. I find actually in all Northern Ireland, I think people are so supportive, and I think at home it's even more so. I love going home and I love going to the local. The initial sort of 10 minutes of the night is, and how are you getting on and what have you been up to?
Yeah.
After that, it's not, and I love that. I hate having to be Ryan McMullan all the time. I just want to be Ryan every now and again, that you don't have to talk about what I'm doing. I'm so proud of what I'm doing, and I'm glad you are, but there's sometimes I just want to have a pint and talk about you.
Yeah, because you don't like it. Because you're doing a lot of interviews and stuff like that. It's like I hate writing like bios.
Yeah.
It's just you bragging about, here are the things that I've done. I think that doesn't come naturally to people from here. No. We don't like to big ourselves up, whereas you look at like New York or LA, somewhere like that. That's what they're all about. I'm the best thing in the world. Yeah, I kind of like that from here, because
you never get above your station.
No, you're not allowed to get it, because like
you quickly get shot back down.
Bringing it back to comedy, if I was saying, if I said something like, my dream is to do live at the Apollo. People here go, we talking, what like, the attitude's like, what do you want to do that for? Yeah. People like get annoyed that you want to do something like really good. Yeah. Whereas if you're in America, it's like, that's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. I believe in you and stuff. Yeah. Whereas here, you're like, your dad's like, don't be stupid. Yeah. Take them bins out, which I kind of like in a way, because it always keeps you like
humble.
Yeah.
We could never get above ourselves, and I absolutely love that too. Anytime you even remotely think about it, like even your friends, never mind, the general public, just even your friends are like, what are you playing at? Yeah. You're wearing sunglasses and you're inside. What are you playing at?
Have you seen many people like change? You must have like played with so many musicians by now and come up with some people. You ever seen attitudes
before
change?
You get on, then I think we'll maybe cut this, but I've accidentally left my car in a car park that closes in 20 minutes, so I have to go.
Don't worry about it. You work away.
And then I'll be back, guys.
We're definitely keeping that in, for sure. We're keeping that in.
Don't know.
Oh my god, he's definitely a way to get a guitar. Yeah, and the rest of the guys. Oh no. He's texted them all. He's texted Bourbon.
Guys, we're on. It's our time.
They still have a group chat. Inactive since 2008.
Right, I'll see you.
Guys, get here. It's our big chance.
See you in 5 minutes.
Alright, see you later. What a piece of shit. Is he, I don't know if he was like this in school, but very racist.
He's always been
very racist. Yeah, great guy. Yeah, all the best, man. But yeah, he was literally. I couldn't believe this last week. He was saying that Asian people creep him out, and I was like, you can't say that. But I guess he was saying stuff like that in school.
He always, I think, one of his first bands as well was like racist only kind of thing. They came out wearing like I'm not going to finish this. I'm not going to finish it. It's alright for you to do stand-up comedy because people joke about it with me. They'll be like, he's a fucking racist.
People just clip that and nothing else, and not me saying anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. I definitely like. Whenever I did like a sketch show on BBC Northern Ireland years ago, is the first thing that I'd done. I must have been like very early 20s, and I thought, yeah, this is it. Yeah. I was like, this puts you kind of on a different level a wee bit, and I got lazy with my writing. Didn't like work on bits enough. I just thought, well, listen, I've done a TV thing, so I just get up on stage here and kind of open my mouth, and it works.
It's gold.
And it took me like a good few gigs to go like, this is so bad. Yeah. Luckily it didn't. It maybe lasted like 6 months.
Yeah.
But in that 6 months, I was so bad on stage. I
find it in, like all the time, even with writing songs. There's sometimes I write songs and I go, this is now my sound. I've figured it out.
Yeah.
I've figured out music. I've got it.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, I listen to the demos and go, oh my gee, really? That's what you were thinking was good?
Well, it's like watching back stand up. And old songs.
Yeah.
You're probably like, oh, but I'm so much different now because I do it like this or I do it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's good to change, I guess, a little bit all the time.
I remember I have a song called "Holding Me Down," and personally, I hate it.
Right.
I think it's terrible.
Do you play it a lot?
Yeah,
right.
I play it every gig because it has this chanty part and it's upbeat and you can all that sort of stuff. But it's essentially 5 chords because I was using a loop pedal at the time, and it's 5 chords that go over and over again. And the chorus is, "You're holding me down, you're holding me down, you're holding me down, you're holding me down."
Right.
And at the time, I remember going, "This is class."
Yeah.
And at gigs, people ask for it all the time, and like, I'm glad people still like it. But when it comes to playing it, I'm just like, "Here we go."
Yeah. Do you just hear that over and over in your head?
Yeah, I can't wait to have more songs out so that it can just shun away.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, I look back at old material I wrote and stuff, and even the first, like, I think I was bad at stand up for years. I don't know how I continued to do it because I look back, like, it wasn't like I was doing all right for years. I just did every gig. I ate shit.
Yeah.
But I think back then there was no like real stand up scene. Yeah. So now it's like it's way better. It's easier, I think, to improve now and stuff. What was the local music scene like when you were starting?
It was class.
Would that have been in a time when you had like General Fiasco,
yeah,
Two-Door Cinema Club, probably like breaking?
Yeah, it was mainstream. More bandy. You'd More Than Conquerors. You'd also
they were great.
What do you call them? Tony Nudger was their song. The Pharaoh.
Yeah. The Ballad of Burnt Dave. That was their big song, wasn't it?
And I mean, it was just very band heavy, but in a great way.
Yeah.
And then the bands have all sort of drifted off, and everybody's doing singer-songwriter stuff, which is great. I'm looking forward to seeing more of a band resurgence.
Yeah.
It's not anything other than my own preference. It's just when Northern Ireland has bands coming out, it's a movement, it's a scene.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're just a lot of songwriters and singers, it's everybody's sort of doing it. But it's always been good. But I don't know how you actually, and every comedy or comedian and whatever, I don't know how you do it, because for me, it scares the crap out of me.
The performance of the idea of performance stand-up?
It's the hardest job in the world. Like, I can't imagine having to go up there and talk and deliver the way you do and everybody does and just be okay with it.
The thing I think that makes stand-up, like, the thing that makes me less nervous about stand-up is, say you get up and you play a song and you're doing kind of your own gigs now and stuff, and I guess audiences of some of the acts you're performing know who you are now.
Yeah.
So that they're already bought into you.
Yeah.
But with stand-up, if I'm doing a bit that's not working with a crowd, I can change it in a split second.
Yeah.
If you've worked out a set, you've got a you can change the songs and stuff.
can't stop.
But with
halfway through
stand
a
up,
song.
you can almost change your style.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing a gig and I'm like they're rowdy,
Yeah.
and I start off telling stories,
Mhm.
I can very quickly just take it back to quick bits,
Yeah.
be a bit louder and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it's like anything. Stand up to me is like playing music for you. It's just like a natural
But it just seems so much harder.
thing.
Like, I have a friend who's really good at stand up, but he's also
He's based here.
he's not based here now. He lives in London. He's done 2 shows in his life.
Oh, okay.
Like in the open mics here,
Okay.
and apparently he went down an absolute treat.
Would I know him?
No, his name's Lorcan Healy.
Okay.
But he's really, really funny.
Right.
Very intelligent and really funny,
Right.
but has like social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So the thought of having to go and do that scares the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And he would always talk about it. He's like, comedy's probably the hardest job I can think of.
There are comics who are exactly like that and go, oh, this is tough. I think the
You're
opposite. Not that I'm going, it's easy,
No.
but I just don't think it's kind of like it's like whenever you gave a presentation in school or a talk or whatever, and you know you slipped in a wee joke or you tried to make the class laugh.
Yeah.
It's a more evolved version of that.
Yeah.
I think music is a lot more. I don't know. There's more like a process to it. I'm also not big into like the psychology of stand up.
Right.
A lot of stand ups after a gig will have this philosophical deep talk about
Where the jokes originated.
what we're doing to the audience, and I just kind of I like to just
Make people laugh.
act a maggot.
That's kind of the Northern Irish in you too. It's just that
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make you laugh, because a lot of people would say, and how did you write that song and what are you trying to do? And it's like, I'm just writing songs. I'm actually trying to please myself.
The main thing about like at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is the
Yeah.
biggest thing with stand up every year in this kind of part of the world, in Europe really.
Yeah.
And when you go, it's all about like these emotional that's what does well now, wins the awards and stuff, is this emotional stand up. It's poignant.
Right.
It has a twist to it. It's literally just mainly guys doing stand up about their dads,
Right.
my relationship with my father.
Right. Okay.
And people fucking love it. And I fell into a trap of like trying to do that, because I had like agents and stuff saying to me, that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I was trying to. The first year I did the Ulster Hall,
Yeah.
I hated that show that I did,
Really.
because I tried to make it more of a show. I tried to make it a journey,
Yeah.
but that's not the stand up I enjoy.
No.
And then that was the first time I did the Ulster Hall was a big wake up call for me,
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
That wasn't. It was a good night. I don't think people like. But like, oh, it was a good night.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The laughs were there, but it was not a reflection of me as a stand-up.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel with my stand-up. I'm not gonna change anyone's life. I'm not gonna make you cry. I'm literally just gonna be silly and just do jokes.
Yeah. It's funny how that's the similar. I take the exact same approach with music. You think of like Bon Iver, unbelievable, and you
Yeah.
think of Bruce Springsteen. You think of Tom Waits. You think of all of these people who I admire. Kanye West, another one.
Shaggy.
All of these people, yeah, mostly. But you think of all these guys and you go, wow, there's the thought process behind it is amazing. I just want to sing songs. Like,
Yeah. If it sounds good, do it.
you know, it's like there's no real like. I'm not philosophically trying. Like, I have a couple like Letting Go for a Little While. I have this song Letting Go for a Little While, and I love it. I wrote it about leaving my parents, but see the amount of people who get in touch with me and go, you know, my daughter died, and this was the song we played at the funeral.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
stuff really, really sad sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think people think that I think about that stuff. Honest to God, I'm just really self-indulgent when it comes to music. I was just writing a song about having to leave my parents for the first time.
Yeah. But that's a beauty of music though, in a way.
Yeah, I guess
because
you
the
can get
song
around
is
it.
whatever you want it to
Yeah.
be. You can apply it to so many different things.
Yeah. So it's just strange, but I have the same sort of approach. These guys are all geniuses at what they do, and they can philosophically tell you why they're writing about it. I wrote my songs because I sung a line and I thought it was good, so I kept writing it.
You could yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Like, you could be looking at what's going on in Northern Ireland at the minute with all the bad stuff happening again, and you could probably be like, well, that's what I need to write about. You know, there's probably like a trap, I guess.
Every
of
day
like,
I think about that. Genuinely, I think about it because I have such strong feelings towards it.
Yeah.
But I'm just not smart enough. If I'm honest, I'm not smart enough to put that on.
I don't even need. But does it need to be, like we're saying, deep, philosophical, or can it just be your
Do you know
feelings
what?
on it?
I wrote a song sort of not about it, but just my opinion, called Belfast City.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing was, I know it rains, but it's always pretty. Back to the place that I can't take with me. We'll have a night in Belfast City, and there's a line in it where it's where the streets and their history remains, but oh how the times have changed. I see all the positives of Belfast.
Yeah.
I think if you look at this place from, you know, a tourist point of view, we look really bad right now.
Yeah.
But when you live here, you go, I can't believe we are these people. Like it doesn't. I think this is the best city in the world.
Yeah.
I get to see so many cities, and everywhere that asks me, "Where's your favorite place?" Belfast City. It's my favorite place, and it just looks so bad right now.
I think we're just. I think the idea should just be like just lie to the tourists now. So when they come over and they do the West Belfast Black Taxi tour and they hear about all the stuff that happened, and then they see like all this stuff happening, you go, guys, we're putting this on for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know this guy, and they're like, he seems to have shot you, and you're like, no, it's just banter between. It's banter between. You're losing a lot of blood. It's not real blood, you know. So
I'm fine.
yeah, but that's stand up as well. Like the idea, you know, I feel part of me feels like I should be doing. I've got a gig tomorrow night, and part of me's going, do I do material about the fact that the Troubles basically kicked off again, or do I just, or do people want to hear about that?
Yeah. Are they coming to you as an escape?
Yeah.
You know.
Like
yeah,
it's always funny when you can, to me doing stand up, when you can just take the piss out of something, because it kind of takes away like a bit of it undermines the stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's good for a minute to forget about it, but Jesus, at some point we have to face it. Like,
Do people, like when you're on the road, do people chat to you about that?
yeah, and I'm always like, honestly, it's the best city in the world. Like, if you are, I even had it. There was a guy. There was loads of us out in the Dirty Onion, and we were sitting there, and I was like, right, it's my round. I'll go and get it. And as I was there, this guy was beside me, and he was about 40 or something like that. And he was American, and he sort of turned to me and he was like, I'm sorry, are you local? And I was like, yeah, you all good? And he was, look, I'm trying to find a way to get to, I think he was looking for the Spaniard or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was like, oh man, it's just around the corner, it's literally there, you know. He's like, okay, I'll maybe go there. And I was like, where are you from? And we get into this conversation. He spent the rest of the night in our company, and at the end of the night said, I've never been to a city where I get welcomed like this.
Yeah.
And I go, this happens here every night of the week.
Oh,
that's our way, but yet look at us now.
We even saying hello to strangers. You know, if you're back home in Portaferry, you're out for a walk, whatever, you're walking somewhere, and you pass someone on the street and there's no one else right around, you go, how you doing, or say hello to that people. I remember other people thinking that was so bizarre.
Yeah.
That even that you say hello, but yeah, I think the charges got dropped and he's alright man, how are you?
I've been here the whole time.
Did you get sorted?
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
Back to it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, are you someone who sets goals and stuff like that?
Short goals, yeah. Small goals.
Do you do it sort of a year? Do you go, oh, I'm going to do this? Sorry, while it's in my mind, speaking of the Spaniard and Dirty Onion, what's your favourite bar in Belfast?
Ooh. I feel like this is a wee bit tough, because do I say a bar that was so supportive of me whenever I was a nobody, or do I say,
not if it's crap.
yeah, okay.
No. Just if you were to say you're going off on tour tomorrow, you're going to go for a pint, one last kind of pint. Where do you go?
Ooh, currently the Jaggy Nettle, but not for its name, because Nettles aren't Jaggy.
Where is the Jag? Yeah.
That wrecks me. They're not Jaggy.
But Nettles are nicknamed Jaggies.
But they're not Jaggy. That's what wrecks me about them. Because we talk about.
Yeah, Nettles go like this.
But they don't poke you. They have like the stuff that stings you, but they're not Jaggy.
But they are very, very minuscule needles almost.
Right. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but the name wrecks me.
Do you know what? You could be right. I got a double A in GCSE science, so I could be wrong saying that there's wee.
I got a double D, so.
Oh, sweet.
Still have.
Where is the Jaggy Nettle?
Stranmills. It used to be the house bar.
Oh yeah.
But no, I mean White's Tavern. I always go to White's. I always go to Dirty Onion. I always go to Duke of York.
I had my first ever alcoholic drink in White's
Kelly Sellers.
when I was 16. Kelly Sellers, great spot. Kelly's is a great spot.
It is a
man.
great spot.
My favourite is Muriel's.
Yeah.
Been to Muriel's?
Yeah, loads.
Shane, you been to Muriel's?
Yeah, of course.
Great spot.
They do
It's
amazing
great.
bangers and mash.
They have that thing with
Pablo's.
the Pablo's next door where you can bring it in.
Slide
you
it
get fast
or
food
tap
and
it.
bring it in.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
well,
you can eat there and bring it in?
Yeah.
Oh, so is the restaurant not there anymore?
The restaurant's there, but
Oh.
like later on in the night they open up like a burger joint beside it,
Right, okay.
and they're owned by the same people. So you can go get like a chip and a burger and then just bring it into the bar.
Class.
Because at the start of the night you're like, nah, I don't want to be sitting there. Like I'm not going to look cool with a burger.
Last
And then
time-
like 11:30 you're like, let's do it.
The last time I was out in the Jaggy Nettle, we were sitting there having pints. Actually, I wasn't even drinking because it was this month and I'm being sober. And,
Same.
And we were all sitting there just because you could bring food in. That's why it came into my head. And I was sitting there and I was like, I smell kebab. The guy behind me and his girlfriend were sitting eating a Sphinx kebab behind me. in
Is
the
that not
bar.
the dream?
I know. I was like, is this allowed? Why are we not doing this?
What?
Hero.
Yeah, what a hero. Oh, you're allowed to bring any food into that bar?
I don't even know, but this guy was doing it. He was just a rogue, just going.
Yeah, no, I feel like you can. Hollywood Football Club, the bar, used to have a thing where you were allowed to bring like fast food in and stuff, and it was alright. And you, after a game, you could bring in like a chicken fillet burger, and then I'm pretty sure the club were like, right, we could be on to something here. Let's just do our own food. And then they were doing toasties, and no one bought it. And then everyone's like, right, you're not doing food. Can we get the burgers back in? They're like, nah. They're still pissed off about that.
Oh.
Where do you drink around home? You still go for like a pint when you're
Fiddler's Green always. That was the bar that I grew up in, essentially. My dad plays in
Primary
the
school
corner.
too.
Yeah. First pint at 4.
Yeah. No, my dad plays in the corner.
Oh,
in
okay.
there. And I played in the
Plays in the corridor?
in the corridor. Yeah.
Alright. At first I'm like, just let him into the main bar, let's slide, and he's
Well,
out there.
you have to earn to get into the.
What is the corridor? So, what do you mean the corridor?
No, the corner of the
Oh,
bar.
the corner of
Yeah.
the bar, right, okay.
No. He sits in the corner and plays the songs.
Did you go and watch him when you were younger?
So the way it worked was, I used to play sports. He used to manage. I wanted to learn guitar. He learned it before me, so if I get stuck, he could show me.
That's great.
I wanted to play in the bars. So he went to Fiddlers and asked could he sit in, and then he brought me in to sing.
That's unreal.
Yeah, but now he's just part of the furniture. He's there Fridays and Saturdays, and yeah.
What if you're like, oh dad, I want to try E's? Would he have just gone out there on the streets, just started popping?
I think, yeah, E's would be fine. I think LSD's where you draw the line.
Yeah, he's like, nah, can't do it.
So were your first 2 songs named after your dad? Get involved in that first?
What was?
Tease Me and Backstreet Hooker.
Backstreet
Backstreet.
Hooker.
Yeah, he was such a huge influence to them songs.
Does he still play?
Yeah, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if it's busy.
What sort of stuff?
Everything.
Anything?
He
you
plays
want?
what the people want to hear. That's always the big chant.
I took guitar lessons for a while. I learned like, so this was in Hollywood, and I was learning Ronan Keating, When You Say Nothing at All,
That's the first song I learned.
for the chicks. Oh yeah?
Swear to God, yeah.
Well, I don't think I got as far as you, because I got the first like chord,
Yeah.
and I played it, and it sounded, I was like, yes, forget the rap career, I'm going to be a singer-songwriter. And I did the first chord, and then he's like, the second chord is this, and then changed my finger to that, and he's like, so just go between them. 25 minutes for me to like, because I have really weird shaped finger, like if you look at my finger,
yeah, so
oh well, don't say yes so quick, but like, yeah, you know what I mean, like I have
Yeah.
weird shaped fingers, so it took me so long to like manipulate my like long fingers around to the next chord,
Yeah.
that it was a really like, it would have sounded nice playing a bit slower,
Yeah.
but not at that pace.
No.
So I took like 3 lessons and I quit, and I really wish I'd have kept it up.
Yeah, I wish I'd done it with piano, because I didn't do any guitar lessons. I just sort of taught myself
Oh,
how to
okay.
play songs. But piano, I did like 1 lesson when I was like 10 and was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And now I play piano like in this, and
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just playing because it sounds nice, and I've
Right.
learnt where I'm going.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm hitting.
Right.
Nothing at all.
So what's on the cards this year? What do you do? What are you up to at the minute?
Well, in Belfast, I have a Customer Square gig.
That's huge.
I know, I'm so proud of it, actually. I'm really excited.
When is it?
about
August?
August 17th, I think. Yeah, it's mad. I played there 2 years ago, supporting.
I'm on my honeymoon, or I would be there.
Oh, really?
Maybe I just Ditch it.
Ditch
I
the
think-
honeymoon.
I think you
Yeah.
should. Yeah.
Are you playing anywhere before that here?
Not that I can talk about yet.
Okay, but you can tell me after I can go to it.
Yeah.
That
Just put it
customer,
underneath.
what's the capacity for customer square?
5,500. Yeah.
Who's doing sport for you?
I can't tell
You
you.
can't tell me it.
Bourbon Sky.
Bourbon Sky.
I'm be the first to announce it.
What was one of your songs called?
Laying in the bed, you mate.
Laying in the bed, you mate.
Yeah.
Halfway through it, you're like, ladies and gentlemen, I've locked my car out of the car park back in 10 minutes. Let's go. Just let the guys fill in. Laying in the bed, you mate.
Yeah.
Can I have some words from the chorus, please?
Why am I lying in the bed, you mate?
Well,
There you go.
brilliant.
Yeah.
How did you guys not long-term work? That's insane, doing that gig, because that is, I think, like when you start to do the likes of the Ulster Hall gigs like that, you go, well, when I was younger and I went to, this is where I went to watch like international acts,
Yeah.
and you don't think that people from here can do that.
Yeah.
So that must be one of those ones where you're like, it's a different league. It's a jump.
It's a run up the ladder, I guess. Yeah. I saw the Ulster Hall that way. It was always in my sights to do the Ulster Hall. I never thought it would be before an album, and I never thought it would sell out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty amazing. And now I'm like, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
And then this came. They asked would we do that, and I was like, oh my god! Like I did this 2 years ago supporting Foy,
Yeah.
and even at the time when Foy was doing it, he was like, this is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And 2 years later I'm doing it, and he's like, dude, it took me 20 years to do that. It took you 3. And I'm going, oh my god. So yeah, it's absolutely mad. But I love some, like, I'm not one to sort of like look at comments and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not because I'm afraid of what they're saying. It's just not my thing. It's the same as like reading messages and tweets and stuff like that. I'm more interested in looking
Yeah.
up football scores,
Right.
news, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing one, because it just must have been the one at the top.
Yeah.
And I think it was a guy or a girl, and she was just like, who is he? And then somebody replied, and then I was like, oh, brilliant. And then I hit into those 2 replies, and somebody underneath was going, I think he plays in Ollies and stuff like that. I was like, that's like 5 years ago. And then underneath it, she was like, well, then he's definitely not big enough to be, headlining this. And I was like, freaking hell, even in our small country.
I already imagine she's called Sheila, and her picture, her profile picture, she'd taken it herself, but from a really low angle, and it was like kind of blurry and stuff, and she's like doing a weird pose at the camera, and every day she's just on the Belfast Telegraph website. Who is that? Who? But I love that. Part of me loves that. Like, yeah, like there's people who follow you on Twitter that will say things like that.
Yeah.
Like or who? Question mark. You put up a gig thing.
Do you get
Who?
this a lot?
Yeah.
Would you get like people who would just tweet just about you and just say something randomly, like not bad about you, but just a random negative thing?
Yeah.
But you don't obviously take any offence to it. It's not like that. Do
Yeah.
you get that often?
Oh yeah. Not. I think so what I used to, if I put up a video, I'm always very quick to like, I'll look at the comments for a while just to see how it's going down.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, my dad's the stat guy. My dad will go, someone just comment on a video from 2016 here saying this. But so I'll look at the start, and then if someone posts something I want to interact with, I'll do it. But I sort of like to just have a laugh with people. So if someone writes something really negative, I like to just mug them off and cut them, but in a light-hearted way, you know.
James Blunt.
Yeah, exactly. Just have a joke sort of with them and not really be horrendous to someone. But yeah, I definitely get, like, you get people who will say something like, you put up a video and someone will just write, could have done better myself, and you're like,
Then do.
could you, mate?
Yeah.
Could you? The best. Sometimes I'm more proud of the comments back to people than the video we've made.
Yeah.
And the best one was a guy. What was it? A guy wrote something like something about throwing darts at me. Can't remember. It was a reference to a video or something. But he said something like I'd throw a dart at him, and I clicked into the guy's profile, and he had, I don't know how it's possible, but he had like 2 lazy eyes. Like he didn't have one that was lazy. It jumped out at me that I was like, he doesn't even have a normal. Like they were both very independent of each other, and I screenshotted that, and then cropped into his face, and I said something like, I have no problem with you throwing darts at me because there's not a mission you're going to hit me. And that means more to me than putting out a video that goes well or a gig. But people just, I don't know, you sort of have to in a way wonder what's wrong with someone that they're, because I don't write anything in videos.
No.
If I like a video or don't like a video, sounds bad to say, but
tag a mate.
Yeah, maybe do that. But like your Streets in New York video that I watch all the time, I'm not like, I haven't like written under it like belter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just really like it, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
But like, it's the people who
keyboard warriors.
Yeah, and
I've got an opinion and I will show it.
Where are you getting the time to go on and do this? Yeah. But the who is quite funny, because like Belfast Hour putting up an article. He's doing the waterfront hall. He's doing this and that. Some like, you know, like divorcee from Newton Abbey, some 50-year-old woman. Just who? And just read it, like it says in it who it is. It says in it who it is.
I got one from a guy. I don't really get them, or maybe I do. I just never really look for them or whatever. But I think I woke up after a gig once. I think it was after that dairy gig I was talking about, and it was this guy being like, "Wouldn't go and see McMullan if he was in my own backyard. He's dressed like he's in 2011." So my initial thought was
very specific.
Brilliant. I was like, "Brilliant, this is funny." And then I went in and he was wearing a backwards cap for his thing. So I just did the same thing, tagged him, and just put it up. It's like, mate, you're wearing a backwards cap.
Yeah.
And also, like, not that it's a big thing, but I have way more followers, and everybody jumped on it. And then I went on to his again, and loads of people started giving him so much grief.
Yeah,
and I was like, I think, like, it was funny for me to say it, but I'm like, I think I've kind of really hurt this guy's feelings.
No, that's sometimes you just gotta do it.
If you give it, you get it.
Yeah. Before we go, our tickets on sale for the Customer Square gig.
Yeah. They're selling pretty well.
That's going to sell out.
Yeah, I think so.
Time of year as well, you're going to have a lot of people back home.
Yeah.
From uni or whatever.
Yeah, August. Because the Ulster Hall, it sold out, and then we put on 2 shows in the Black Box, and they sold out in like 6 minutes. It was
good. That's such a good venue. 500
tickets, 500 tickets in 6 minutes. And I was like, whoa. And we kind of thought we could have done another. We were asked if we wanted to do another Ulster Hall, and I thought, not until I have an album out. I don't want to do 2, release an album, and then only get 1.
Yeah.
It's just the wrong trajectory. So I think the ticket demand was there, and since we've put it up, there's been a great sort of response, and I'm thinking, this is January, you know, the dry month. Yeah.
Well, we work with, I think Customer Square is booked by the same people who are doing my stuff at the minute.
Oh yeah. Shine.
Yeah. And it's so great. Like, it's great to have someone doing stuff with me here, because before I've just gone through agents in London, but I'm not like a local thing. So like, for the water, first of all, I never wanted to do the waterfront. I was like, that's too big for stand up. But I think once you've then done like the Ulster Hall, you're confident on that stage. You're okay, now it's not that big to me. Whereas before it's alien. But like, it never fails to make me go, oh my god, when you see ticket sales that are really good when you don't expect it. Especially like that time of year, like January and stuff, you go like, how is this? There's never a moment where I would just look at that and be like, dead on. It's always like, that's unreal.
Are you a stat guy? Would you be into the numbers?
I was, and I mean, I toured last year for the first time ever. When I was getting a weekly ticket report.
That's your first tour?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I've only done like the likes of one Ulster Hall by itself.
Right.
And I hated that, because you spend so long working the show up and it's done in one night. Then you're doing the New Hour the next year. So it was my first tour. I didn't even think I could do a tour, because I thought, if I'm doing Ulster Hall, people are going to travel from Derry, from Newry, Ballymena. They're not going to then come to that. So that's why I like doing gigs in random Portaferry, Portico. I loved it so much, just because it was new to me. But I was getting weekly ticket reports. Right. And I got too into it, checking it, worrying about it. Why am I not selling tickets here? What can I do to do this? And I think it'd be better to have I'm going to do a monthly look from now on. Or I might just say to Joe at Chine, just let me know if somewhere isn't selling well. Let me know, and maybe I'll do something there. But apart from that, nah. You?
Yes and no. It's the similar thing. Very interested in it, but would never get obsessive over it, because one week you could sell 120 tickets, and the next week you could sell 6.
Exactly.
And that 6 week freaks you out.
That's why I had to stop doing
And
it.
then, but the next week you could sell another 200.
Yeah.
And not understand why that week sold 6. It's none of your concern. People just didn't have money, or people had other things to worry about than buying your tickets. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm always interested to see, like, on the day of the shows, I'm like, did we sell this out? Sweet. No. How close did we get? Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's cool to see progression in places where you go. Well, last time I was here, I was headlining the comedy club, and there was 20 people here, and now that's like Ballymena.
Yeah.
At the start of last year, I think I did a show to 25 people in Ballymena, but it was it's above a pub and it's a 25-seater room.
Right, okay.
Tried some new stuff, but really low scale. And the times I'd headlined the comedy club there before, I wasn't selling many compared to a lot of people. And then I put it on as a tour show, and it's one of those ones I was freaking out about. It was packed. It was absolutely packed out, and that's just so great to like experience that. And
shows progression too. It's like, this is working for me.
Yeah. It just means like there's loads I would love to do in America and all over the place, but if I was only ever going to be playing here, I think I'm okay with that now. Yeah. And it's not a case of like, because I could sell this amount of tickets. It's because like the support is there. Yeah. You know, and it's not like a financial thing or anything like that. It's more just like, I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, the soul strokers, I guess.
Yeah.
The money's nice, but it's the acceptance.
Yeah. Customised Square, what date? In
17th of August, I think.
17th.
It's the 17th to check it.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah.
17th of August. Thank you very much for.
No, thanks for having me.
For doing this.
Take a few questions.
Oh yeah, sorry, shit questions. Yes.
Got a few.
Yes, I have some too.
A few through on Instagram.
Could you chuck us over? I think my phone's on top of my bag there.
Here it is.
Cheers.
I think that coffee you made me was like super strong, because this whole interview I've been
trying to sabotage.
No, I just dropped a few E's in it for there you go.
Joe's like, Ryan's not going to make Customised Square. Hey, I might know someone. It's me.
So Fitzy from Fitzy110
Fitzy
from Instagram for Ryan. Will the song you wrote for the movie the Delinquent season, it's hard to say, I thought, ever be released, or is there a name for it?
Sorry, so ironic that you can't pronounce Delinquent.
Oh yeah.
No, that song, everybody's asking for that song because I wrote it with Ed. So I don't think people care that I'm a part of it. I think it's just Ed fans really, really love it.
But they surely they love you now though as well.
Well, hopefully. I mean, not to badger the song, I'm proud of being a part of it. It just doesn't fit in with what I'm doing. I can't. If I could find a place to put it in an EP or an album, maybe I would. But currently, I have no plans to put it on any of my platforms.
Okay. From Matthew Mernon, I'm going to say acquaintance of the show.
Acquaintance of the show. This guy, just to fill you in, he was a friend of the show. Then he showed up in my garden.
Oh.
And things changed. To be fair, he's friends with the people that live directly opposite me. He wasn't in my garden, he was in the street, and to be fair, he was just going into their house. But he made the mistake of saying, I was outside your house, I was going to say hello, and I was like, do not ever approach me on my own property, because I think I'm right in saying in Northern Ireland you can shoot someone if they look into your garden. I think I'm right in saying that. So
definitely
acquaintance of the show.
He wants to
as long as you don't get caught, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants to
and nobody will miss him.
Oh, sorry. He wants to know who does the best Gary Lightbody impression. He also knows you do a good one, Shane.
You don't know about my Lightbody impression?
Do, yeah.
Oh. Well, look, if the people want to hear it again, they can hear. I'll sing it one last time for you. Then we really have to go away from here. Very breathy, but I mean, I genuinely think if Gary was sick one night or whatever, he couldn't play, I think the guys could give me a call, do a decent enough job.
Yeah, I totally agree. If I closed my eyes, I should have closed my eyes, it would have felt like...
Honestly, you would fall in love. If you would fall in love if you close your eyes and then I did it, you couldn't make eye contact with me for the rest of the podcast.
Right, I could see that actually.
You just give me any song and I'll Lightbody it.
And I'll close my eyes and
any song and I'll Lightbody it.
Winter's Coat.
I don't know.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to do it. What about Eminem?
What song?
The Rihanna. You know, just gonna stand there.
Have a great one for next.
Just gonna stand here and just gonna stand here and watch you cry, but that's alright because I love the way you lie.
That was actually
Thank
pretty
you,
good.
Not bad.
Yeah. I laughed initially, but now I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're. It's funny, but also
Yeah.
perfect.
It was a light body version of the 90s classic Rap and Roll.
I'm trying to remember Rock and Roll, going on my social. Ah,
You fucking
okay. Rock and roll, got all my soldiers on foot patrol.
So,
Cheers.
yeah, that's about it.
Okay, I've got questions here from Twitter. Dan Murphy says, ask him when the album is coming. Who were your influences growing up? There's several questions here. He says he was introduced by a mate a few weeks ago and he's been blown away. He got tickets immediately for the Customer Square gig.
Sweet.
So I'll just take the question about the album.
I've been promising an album for like 3 years. I think everybody's been on at me. The truth was, it just wasn't ready. I think it's going to be, well, I think I'm contractually have agreed to, it has to be out in August. It has to be out for the gig.
It might be like the Backstreet Hooker and stuff
Yeah,
on
I
it.
might
You
have
need to fill it up.
Yeah.
If you need some help writing it up, Ryan, you know where I am.
Yeah, it's going to be like Ryan McMullan feature and the Bourbon Sky.
Lock that door, let's write. Rap and Roll, Backstreet Hooker, all the Bourbon Sky hits. So by August you will have an album out.
I think by the gig, because I love people knowing the songs, because
Yeah.
playing the songs people don't know that I enjoy playing and nobody knows them, it's a bit disheartening at times. But then, like, I played Boy at the Ulster Hall and it was mental, and I was like, people just need to hear the songs in order to know them and sing them back. So let's get
I
there.
always like as well though going to see a concert and hearing a new song or a song I haven't heard before.
Yeah.
Like Gary Lightbody when they brought out that new album, that song What If This Is All the Love You'll Ever Get,
Yeah.
which is just a sensational song.
Yeah.
They played that. I'm pretty sure it was like before even the video was out, but I think the song might have been out. They played it in, I think it was America maybe. I saw them just do a live version of it.
Yeah, I know which
And
one
it's
you're talking about.
incredible.
Yeah.
That
And James Corden or something.
yeah, maybe it was.
You
Maybe
see
it
the one
was.
where he plays with them or sings
He's
with
great.
them? Yeah, I love him.
He's almost like too good, where it's like you're a comedian at the same time. Like I could have Rap and Roll, I could have done the whole thing, killed it,
Yeah.
but it's not funny then if I do it.
Yeah.
I also don't remember the lyrics. I will find the lyrics to that.
We're going to record that
Yeah,
full thing.
yeah. We got a song from we got a tweet from Adele McVeigh. She says, "Ask him when he's coming to ours for a cup of tea." Do you know it?
I think that's Peter McVeigh's wife.
Yes, Peter has been tagged in the tweet.
Yeah, I will be around whenever you actually invite me, Adele, and
Oh.
don't just tweet asking.
Yeah, and she also
Give me a date.
all Adele said is cup of tea. Is there biscuits?
I know.
Is there a spread?
Tea isn't going to entice me.
No.
Fox's cookies with the wee chocolate layer in the back,
Oh, okay.
that will entice me.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
We got one from Ryan McMullan fans,
Right.
which says, when can we expect more music? New tour in the UK. So we've spoken about the new music, but tour.
Tour will follow. Tour. I think I'll have my first world tour at the end of the year. From September-ish.
Have you got like visa for America and stuff and all that?
Currently in the works.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, it's the longest thing I've ever done in my life.
Unbelievable, yeah. Like you have to have like projections of what you're going to earn, and
Yeah.
you know, mad.
What about Europe? So Europe, North America,
Australia.
Asia?
No, not yet.
He'd be delighted that as we've established he gets
Yeah.
creeped out, his words, by Asian people.
What?
I'm just repeating what you said recently, but I'm only joking. He didn't say it. He wrote it in one of his tweets from his different account. Paul Daniel Rafferty, very Northern Irish, very niche question here. Has his pool game improved?
I know Paul well, and
Is Paul a bit of a hotshot at the
well,
table?
he's great in the table, but I think he's forgetting, or else he's kindly reminding me that I beat him 3-0 the last time we played.
I'm looking at Paul's face there. He has a very kind face.
He's one of the sweetest guys I've ever met.
Yeah, well, he's got a sweet face. Shout out to Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, another question about the album. Declan Doherty's looking at a US tour.
There's one soon, but I'm not able to talk about it.
Okay. Mark Beggs, go fuck yourself, says, would Ryan allow Shane to strum his guitar with his alien-like fingers? No, because I'd probably break all the strings with my weird...
Yeah, no, I don't mind. You can strum my guitar anytime, mate.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Caitlin says, what's your favourite film?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer. If you like black comedy, you're going to love it.
Okay. Nicole, if you had a podcast, what would it be about? If you were doing your own podcast?
It would be about anything but me. Anything to talk about anybody else would be great.
Okay. I have just a couple more questions. Oh yeah, no, I did an actual post. I'm so bad at this sort of thing.
You're grand, don't worry.
Gavin Grant. Do you know Gavin Grant?
Yeah.
Pancake Head. He is that's
I've
my
never
nickname
known
for him.
that.
No, a lot of people would call him that. He says, ask him does he miss working with me in the construction job in Ballynahinch, and if not, did he leave because of me? I would have left.
I didn't leave because of you, but
He didn't help.
the last time I saw him, he was a bit steaming.
That wouldn't be like Gavin.
And I would have left if he was like that when I met him.
Yeah.
We joked.
Did you? Well, a nightmare working with him, surely.
Well, he just did nothing.
Yeah.
Like I did more, and I wasn't contracted to do what he was doing.
He sleeps in the JCB and stuff, doesn't he?
He's
Can we just give him the fingers? Matthew McInerney, when I did the shout out for questions, says he's fantastic.
a good question.
Yep. Jay McCauley says, is he fed up playing the streets in New York? Well, we sort of talked about that a bit.
No, I'm not fed up with it. I'm just only to an accepting audience that is not in any way sectarian, left or right.
Right. Which is fair enough.
I just wish I wrote it. If I'd written that song, I'd have so
Just
much
change
money,
it, the streets of Portaferry.
I know, but
Totally nick it.
just completely steal
Change
it.
a couple of the
Maybe I
references.
should do that. Maybe I should change it to the Streets of Portaferry for PRS, and anytime I sing it, put it under that and keep collecting the royalties.
For
that way.
sure. Becky Elliott, we only have a couple more. She says, what's the one thing you can live without?
One thing I couldn't live without, I suppose. I guess their answer is music, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
What's
oxygen's
wrong
the
with-
obvious one, but.
Yeah. I think they closed that down a few years ago.
Hey.
Thank you. Andy OC says, who would be his favourite Irish artist to collab with?
Paul Brady, hands down, and Shane Todd.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting me back in the studio. Paul Grady.
Paul Brady.
Paul Brady.
Yeah, not to be confused with Paul O'Grady.
I was gonna say banger. Could be a good tune. Final question is from Luke O'Lone Music. He says, I've seen Ryan so many times, and the most recent at Ulster Hall, one of the nicest down to earth fellas I've ever met. Ask him how does he cope with the change from playing around bars in Belfast and touring with everyone he has and now going to sell at Custom House Square. Must feel on top of the world. Also name my daughter after a song.
Yeah, I think.
That's
think I've
Bowie
met
on the
him.
radio alone.
Yeah, Bowie.
Such a shit joke, but yeah, I think Luke is a performer himself.
Yeah, I think I've met him. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of, I actually met him before the show as well. To answer your question, I don't feel any different. Look, I mean, we're brought up in Northern Ireland. You don't get above your station. You play in the bar. You support Ed. You play Ulster Hall. You're still that wee prick Ryan from Portaferry. That's never going to leave you.
Also,
you know?
I don't know what it was like for you, but playing Ulster Hall, you definitely can't get above your station, because I was like, hey, would I be able to get like a water? And the staff were like, yeah, it's going to be whatever price. Had to buy my own water. I don't know if you got some free water, but
Yeah.
if you are, I'm fuming.
No, I didn't get free water.
Do you know what? My problem with a rider is that it's only me.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, can I get some fruit and water and maybe like, you know, couple of cans of like fizzy drink and a few other things, and they bring it for like 12 people, and then I go, it's only me, and they go, don't worry about it, you've paid for it already, and I go,
Great.
So now I just go to Tesco's in Dublin Road before the show and buy stuff.
My rider's ridiculous. My rider's like a litre bottle of vodka, 2 bottles of red wine, bottle of white wine, 24 beers.
I actually seen your rider.
I need to change it, like it's far too much.
For sure.
I was at Stenhall. I was doing photographs at Stenhall on behind the scenes, and your rider took up a full table. And I was like, who's this for? Like, that's for Ryan McMullan. And then I seen, what do you call the DJ, Craig Charles?
Yeah, he used to be in Coronation Street.
Yeah.
Red Dwarf.
Oh yes, yeah.
He had like a beer and a bottle of water, and I was like, Ryan is.
Did you see my rider from? Did you see my rider from Stenhall?
No, I didn't.
You know what it said on it? Nothing. Didn't know you could do it. Didn't know you could do it. Livid backstage.
Well, it was probably only headline actually, to be honest. So.
Well, headlined the comedy there, so there you go, my friend. And you were there, and you came up to me after, and you went, "That was unbelievable, mate. I'm not going to say what you said, but you definitely made me an offer."
That you didn't refuse?
You said it was very good. That's it.
Yeah, it was.
It was good. Yeah, no. Anyway, Ryan, thanks so much for
thanks for having me.
Being my first non-comedy guest.
Cheers, thanks.
On the podcast. I'm going to come to that gig that you can't tell me about.
Yeah.
But do tell me about it at some stage, otherwise I'm just going to be going to different venues.
Yeah,
hoping,
is Ryan here?
Hoping that you're on.
Do you know where he'd be?
Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.